but we were like obsessed with the misogynist male character.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, damn, I want my own Edward Cullen. I'd kill myself if I had my own Edward Cullen.
Oh my God. Welcome back to Chaotically Bookish. My name is Annabelle.
My name is Ashley.
And this week we're going to be talking about books from from BookTube past. You know, classics like Twilight and Hush Hush and The Vampire Academy. You know, the good classics.
The true classics.
The true classics. We'll also be discussing some bookish news, some BookTube TV/movie adaptation news, which is always very exciting. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. What you reading right now?
That's a good question. I feel like this month I've really fallen off the whole reading thing. It's not a reading slump.
February's not the great one for.
It really isn't.
Nah.
It's not a reading slump, but it's just like
it's like you're not in the mood for anything, because it's like, you know how like in the summer you're like, I want to read contemporary romance, and like during autumn you want to read like horror, fantasy, mystery, but like what's February? It's like love is kind of crammed down your throat, but you don't want to read a romance.
Yeah. I also feel like in January you set yourself these goals.
Yeah.
And so you like read like crazy to meet them, and then February comes around, you're like, screw that.
It's like every New Year's resolution.
Every New Year's resolution. Doesn't matter what it is.
Nah.
What are you reading right now?
I'm reading what is it called?
People We Meet on Vacation?
That's the one.
Gotcha.
That's the one. It's okay so far. It's not like really grasping my attention, but it's fun for the genre it's in.
People really love that book.
Really love that book. I don't really know. I'm like, that's what I get scared to read these books that people really
hyped
love.
books, yeah.
Especially when I have a reputation for not liking romance books. And it's like, people are just like, well, of course you didn't like it. You don't like any romance book. No, exactly. All right. Well, let's start talking about some bookish news. So this week in book news.
So the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer is getting a movie adaptation.
That's exciting.
Locksmith Animation option for it. And
I love the idea of animation.
I do too, especially with those new covers.
Yes.
I feel like it's going to be great.
It's going to look so cool.
I think it's going to be wicked. I also think for a sci-fi-esque book, it's going to do really well as animation.
Exactly. Like, that's what I always wish for with fantasy and sci-fi. It's just like, dude, no matter how hard you try, the CGI looks so
never
bad.
Gonna get there. Versus like an animation with like you have Cinder, who's a cyborg. Like, she's gonna look sick as an like, animation.
Cool.
So cool.
Have you read the books?
I have.
I haven't.
I read them way back when.
You know, speaking of books of yore.
Speaking of books of yore, this is one of them. There's not much news about it though yet. Like, it's obviously just got picked up.
That's so cool.
It will include all 4 books in the series, which is exciting.
Very exciting.
I'm excited about it. I think it's
too.
great. Other than that, another, old book that we all love. Percy Jackson, the TV show, got greenlit.
Dude, I'm so excited.
After that, horror show that was those movies. I kind of like, I still watch them.
The first movie was not that bad. I'm not going to lie.
I watch them and I enjoy them.
Yeah, they're really, like, it's decent.
They're cheesy.
The second one is hot garbage.
It is, but like, I'll still watch it.
Oh, I can't. I can't do it. I'm a huge fan of the books. Like, I am absolutely, like, Percy Jackson is, like, I don't know, Harry Potter level obsession for me. I love it so much.
And I feel like a lot of people do too. So
exactly. And I'm like, please don't fuck it up for the second time.
I don't think they can. Because so Disney Plus picked up Percy Jackson. And Rick Riordan has stated that he will be involved in this.
It's published through Disney Hyperion. So yes. Disney always owned Percy Jackson, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So they're going to produce it. And Rick Riordan was like very serious. He was like, I wasn't a part of the movies. He's like, they upped the age to like 17.
Which they didn't need to do. No. I have nothing bad to say about Logan Lerman, though.
No, me neither.
He put his whole Logan Ussy. He put his Lermussy.
Oh my God.
Into that role. He did a really good job.
I think he did great. It's the material that they were working with, because they didn't include the author of that book, of that series. Trash. Like, what's the point?
Exactly.
Include the author. That's how you make a good adaptation.
I know, and also they should have known that like Percy Jackson had like the most insane fan base.
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna rip that shit to shreds.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with all book to movie adaptations, you have to be so careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
because like one wrong move and you have an entire fan base. Like if they had messed up Shadow and Bone, could you imagine?
Oh my god.
They messed up Six of Crows. Could you imagine?
I mean, we should get into that one day, but I have thoughts.
I'm sure. I know you do. I'm trying to think of like other movie, like I feel like the Divergent movie, the first one.
Oh my god. But the fandom had a lot to say about how it went, but not only for like the adaptation, but like the books too.
I feel like Twilight was good.
Twilight was good.
Twilight was a good adaptation.
Harry Potter had a pretty good adaptation.
Harry Potter.
I mean, I'm sure like hardcore fans don't agree, but
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
they had a lot to say about the third movie, even though it's the best one.
I agree.
Yeah, and like Lord of the Rings had like I think the perfect adaptation. I know you haven't seen it, but
it's 3 hours long.
It's 4 hours long with the extended edition. Something I do that absolutely gets on my boyfriend's nerves is I can't finish like a simple 2-hour movie. So if I'm watching something on my own, I will literally start the first hour, stop, go do something else for 4 days, and then finish the last hour. How do you remember what happened?
I don't know. It's usually a movie I've already seen. I never watch new movies.
So like Disney movies are like the perfect length for you.
Yeah, 100%. And even that is a little
solid
much.
Hour and a half.
Even that's much. Like I can't. I was like watching The Hunger Games the other night and I was like, I got pause. They're not that long.
No, they're not.
I can't do it. I'm a TV show person and to a point where 1 20-minute episode is good. And then I move on.
Like even like an hour-long episode's too long for you.
A little bit, yeah. Like I have to do something else. Like I have to play Mario Kart or I have to have like a book open.
That is insane.
I know. I just can't. I don't have the attention span for
that
TV.
Is insane.
I know.
Oh my god.
I don't know what to tell you.
Any more news we got going on?
So Legendborn.
Ooh.
By Tracy Dion.
So good.
So good. I'm pretty sure it's getting a movie.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't believe it got picked up so fast.
It's such a good book though.
It's really good. Blood Marked, the second book, comes out in November, if I'm not wrong.
It's too far away.
I know.
I loved that book.
I thought it was so fun. A King Arthur retelling, you can't go wrong.
That's not even something that like commonly happens. A King Arthur retelling. It's so good.
So good.
And I don't like urban fantasy. In all honesty,
I don't either.
But, like, I genuinely love that.
So did I.
So good.
It was so good. Great, like, just everything.
And it's one of the few books that you've recommended to me that I actually like.
I know. I was like, you have to read this, like, now.
And I was like, okay. Let's move on to the main topic of this episode. Our favorite books of yore. I love saying of yore, like in Friends.
You're so fancy.
It's an apothecary table of yore. From the time of yore. All right. Well, what's a book that you like absolutely love from back in the day? All of them.
I wouldn't say there's any book from back in the day that I'm like, yes, I love it. Like we've talked about a lot on this podcast. I will reread Twilight till the day I die. Happily.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
Throw in some Bella's Lullaby. I'll twerk to that. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that became a meme.
That was the best TikTok trend and no one can tell me otherwise.
So wild.
So I love it. I loved it when people were like doing the dance in front of their parents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't big on Divergent, so that kind of fell away. Hush Hush is kind of
got into
away.
dystopia, did you?
No, not really.
No.
I genuinely can only think of Twilight as one of those old books that I really like reread all the time.
Well, for me, I think my favorite was probably even above Twilight. I'm gonna say The Vampire Academy.
See, I never read The Vampire Academy.
I can't believe you didn't.
I don't know why. I think Twilight and The Vampire Diaries just took me for a loop.
Wait, you read The Vampire Diaries?
I did.
Oh my god!
And they just kept coming. Those books kept coming, and I was like, I can't keep up. I was like, you're in a weird.
The author.
They got into a weird dimension, and like
you're kidding me.
I don't want to spoil it, but it was. I'll tell you about it later.
I don't think anyone's gonna be reading The Vampire Diaries.
Well, so Damon died, but died.
What?
And Elena was like, I don't want to remember any of this. So Stefan erases her memories at one point.
Stefan has magical powers?
I don't know. I can't. Now, mind you, there could be someone listening who's like, you are absolutely incorrect about everything you just said. And that's valid because I read this when I was like 13. I read this series when I was like a child. So like my memory is probably not good, but and like Caroline turned into a werewolf and had Tyler's litter.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, she was pregnant with all of his babies and she gave birth to all of his babies. And at one point, Elena like floats into the sky and she's like transformed. I don't even know.
What the fuck?
It was wild from start to finish.
I always thought the TV show was wild.
No, that shit tame compared to this book series. I can't even.
That wasn't the series that I read when I picked up. Who's the author? L.J. Smith.
Yes,
L.J. Smith. I read the witch books, the Secret Circle books.
Oh, the Secret Circle.
You know, the show that was on the CW for like one season.
You know that really like the pretty boy blonde actor?
Yeah.
He visited my high school.
What?
And was doing a random signing after school. It was the weirdest fucking thing in the world.
That's so cool.
It was, but like I didn't watch it. I just like was like, he's a celebrity. I should go get my shit signed. So I literally just gave him a piece of paper to sign. And then I'm pretty sure I lost it. Like I don't have that anymore.
For those who don't know, we live in Vancouver, BC, which is pretty much like the Hollywood of Canada.
Yeah.
Like literally every TV show gets
filmed here.
Yeah, we got Riverdale. We had Sabrina, Once Upon a Time, Supernatural.
Twilight was filmed here.
Yup.
Pretty much like we have Lionsgate, so everything is pretty much filmed here.
Literally,
Netflix and Disney have studios here.
Your brother works for a film studio, right?
Yeah, he's a he does like the lighting and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
for
cool.
Shows. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
He like worked near the studio that Robert Pattinson was filming Batman at.
Our mascot.
Yeah, and I was like, you need to let me know where he is and when. And he was like, I don't work on his movie. And I was like, you need to tell me.
Robert Pattinson perfectly encompasses our personalities.
I would say so. He's perfect.
He's literally perfect. Have you seen the new GQ photo shoot with him in?
I haven't.
It's wild.
Oh my God. I love him and I love that Hollywood tolerates him.
I love that he, like, half of the stories that he talks about, he literally makes up. They're not even real.
I love that for him.
He's straight up, he's like, yeah, I make up shit. So like if I don't remember a story that you reference, I totally lied. I'm like, king.
It must get tiring doing the same interviews, so like why not?
He's so chaotic.
I love that because we're chaotic. What were your like books?
Definitely Vampire Academy, but when I look back on it, because I really want to reread it so badly, and I think when I was originally on Bookstagram, we almost had this like reread. I was in this group where we were going to reread Vampire Academy, and I guess I left before we started, but I want to reread it, but at the same time,
yeah, it's like, do I want to tarnish the memory of this book?
But
if it's
also,
not great?
It's like incredibly problematic.
Ooh.
The main love interest is 24 years old.
How old is the
17?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you know how Edward's 110, but he's still physically 17? No, I'm going to fix that. He's actually going to be an adult.
Love that. Great. Jeez.
But have you watched the movie?
Yes, but forever ago, and I genuinely can't remember anything about that movie.
It was brilliant.
Other than like that main girl, the brown haired one. Yeah. I was like, she's hot.
She's really hot.
She's hot.
People didn't really like her for Rose because Rose in the book is described as curvy.
Oh, I see.
And I guess the representation was,
Yeah.
So hopefully they fix that.
I feel like, especially now, like in 2022, they know.
Yeah, representation is incredibly important.
Representation is incredibly important.
Yeah.
And people are aware. Like you can't just like not include.
No, but the TV show, speaking of BookTube movie adaptations, Vampire Academy is getting an adaptation and they have completely revamped the entire cast to be more diverse. And I think they're changing some storylines maybe.
I should hope so. Because that's the thing. These books were like, hugely popular like 10 years ago. That hurts to say. But like over 10 years ago. And there were issues and things in those. Thanks. Over 10 years ago. But there were some things in those books that, flew then don't fly now.
Definitely don't.
So it's nice to see that people are like, especially if you want to make an adaptation, they're like, okay, well, let's look this over. At least we hope that they're looking it over.
I know. So that's why I'm like really afraid to like go and reread the book because I'm like, will I hate it?
Yeah. I really want to reread Hush Hush, but I know
That we'll hate it.
damn well that it's going to suck.
It's gonna suck.
I'm not prepared.
You know what? Another series that definitely had anyone who liked YA books in a chokehold. Mortal Instruments.
Mortal Instruments had my ass. It was the first Cassie Clare series I read, and I was so far up Jace's ass. I just love Malik
You
was
are
my
my
shit.
sister, my blood.
Oh my god! And I let that shit fly too. I was like, yeah, nice.
Me too. I was so far up Cassie Clare's ass that I'm
yeah.
still up there.
Oh yeah. But I do think like if I reread the Mortal Instruments, I think
it's her worst work.
Oh, arguably.
Yeah.
I haven't read her other work, but I can imagine.
I watched a review on BookTube back in the day. I think it was Cass J. Tuck. I don't know if you ever watched her, but she did a review comparing the Mortal Instruments to the Infernal Devices. And she was just like, I can't believe that's the same author.
Was the Mortal Instruments her first?
It was her first
yeah.
series. She wrote City of Bones, Ashes, and Glass. And then she took a break from the series and then wrote... Wait, no. I think she wrote Glass and then she wrote Fallen Angels. Mm-hmm. And then she took a break and wrote Clockwork Angel, I believe.
Either way.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Infernal Devices. If you have read the Mortal Instruments and you're like, I hate it, I'm never going to read any books, please give the Infernal Devices a chance. It's really good.
Part of me kind of likes reading and comparing like the first book you've written and then like look at like Shadow and Bone compared to Six of Crows.
Absolutely.
Like huge difference.
World of difference.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's like cool to look, it sucks, but it's also cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
The growth is great.
But any other books that you can think of? Do you remember the Shiver series?
Yes, but I never read it because I was so far up Twilight's ass that I hated werewolves.
Same.
I would not read a werewolf book to save my fucking life.
I was literally like, I am team vampire.
Yep.
Werewolves can go right to hell.
I remember when vampires started taking a step back to werewolves on Wattpad of all things, and I was pissed. I was like, I don't want shit to do with werewolves. Bring back the vampire books.
Bring back the vampire books.
I'm pretty sure that's when I fell off of Wattpad. When I stopped reading Wattpad was because werewolf books took over, and I was like, hell no.
You're like, Harry Styles needs to be a vampire, not
Harry
a werewolf.
Styles, if I don't get kidnapped by all 5 boys of One Direction and they aren't all vampires, what's the point?
What's the point?
What is the point? If I don't open up my green orbs and put my messy brown hair into a bun and then walk downstairs, my mom says, you've been bought by One Direction, and they happen to just all be vampires, why am I alive?
You know you're deep in the Wattpad fan fiction life when you don't even read YN, you just put your name in there.
Oh my God, I am there. It's like a toxic trait. It is a red flag of mine that I just don't even see Y/N. I just see Ashley.
But speaking of these books, I feel like they really introduced tropes that to this day still stand. And I think they also introduced like the chokehold that tropes have on YA.
Oh yeah.
Like what was really popular during those times? Pregnancy
Trope.
love
triangle. The like strong boyfriend and like a weak-willed like main girl.
ordinary girlfriend.
The ordinary girlfriend and the mystical boyfriend who's like somehow just has so much more control over every situation than she does.
The female protagonist that has no agency.
No agency at all. I don't know what. Oh, the breakup trope because it's what's best for you.
Fuck.
So tiring.
So tiring.
Compare those tropes to the tropes that are popular today. One's
Knife
so
to the
much better than
throat,
the other.
Enemies to lovers,
Found
one bed.
family. They're all so much better than what we had over 10 years ago.
I'm an absolute sucker for the one bed trope.
Who isn't? If you're not, that's weird.
I don't care how fucking overdone it is. There's only
It's
one
always
bed.
great.
It's always the best.
Nothing's better than it.
Arguably nothing better than it.
Especially when they're like enemies.
Oh, and they kind of hate each other.
And they kind of hate each other low key. Nothing better. I love it.
Speaking of, what do you think books in the past got away with that just would not fly anymore?
So much. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start.
No diversity.
No diversity.
No representation.
No representation of any kind.
No.
Any kind. You wouldn't, like, I feel like the first, like, gay character I came in contact with
was Alec, wasn't it?
Alec.
Yeah.
And Magnus from The Mortal Instruments.
Yep.
But before that, nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing. It's so bad. And I feel like they also really pushed, like, harmful gender roles.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, I didn't see it then. Because you just think, oh, like, this the overprotective boyfriend, who doesn't want that?
Huge misogynist.
Huge. Like, every time, like, the boyfriend was like, here, this is what's best for you. And the main girl does not get a choice. And it's such a huge flip because now you have these female protagonists that are bad bitches and they make their own choices.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
It's how it should be.
That's how it should be. But we were like obsessed with the misogynist male character.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, damn, I want my own Edward Cullen. I'd kill myself if I had my own Edward Cullen.
Oh my God. You're going to the grocery store and he's like, I need to come with you.
Like, it's lovely to, you know, feel protected and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure. But like, he just took every decision away from her. And every decision that she made, he was like, no, you're wrong.
The fact that she had to bargain with him.
Oh my God. The fact that she had to bargain over her choices.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Huge red flag. We still love Eddie Boy, though.
Still love Eddie Boy. Still so far up his ass.
Also, I feel like without, like, not that I'm not advocating bad books and harmful things, but like, I feel like if those books didn't exist, we wouldn't have the strong female protagonists that we have now. We wouldn't have this absolute coin flip.
Well, that's the argument. Like, how do you learn if you don't learn from history?
Exactly.
Right? Like, that shit doesn't fly now. What little girls want to see, what little boys want to see, what little everyone wants to see is themselves, and they want to see someone who's strong.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of kills me, and I'm glad I didn't, you know, turn out like Bella, because like she was my role model. I was like, oh my God, Bella Swan, I want to be just like Bella Swan. I don't want to be like Bella Swan.
No,
not even close. There's better characters out there, you know.
I know, and it's like, it's so weird how they used to, like, the way they're written. It doesn't make sense for you to side with Bella, because like every argument was in Edward's point of view, and you're just like, yeah, well, he's right. And I'm like, yeah, but why was it even framed that way?
Especially because she's the narrator.
Exactly.
She's leading the story. And you're like, yeah, no, Edward's right.
Edward always
ain't
right.
telling the story. This isn't his.
I know, and I honestly really love, I know that not a lot of people read it, but like Midnight Sun was a very good demonstration of how Edward was so flawed.
Oh yeah. That's why I quite liked it. Like, this is a very interesting, because you idolize the shit out of him.
Oh,
when you read Twilight, and then you read Midnight Sun, you're like,
he's
my
a
guy,
freak.
He's cracked.
He's like a creepy boyfriend.
He is.
And you really see it from his point of view. And you see how like jealous he is and how like he's so petty.
So petty. And like he just thinks the worst things about everyone. Even though he like, I feel like it was in like Twilight or something where he says, you know, you try not to listen because it's not fair to judge people on their thoughts because they can't control it and they're not expecting someone else to hear it. Mm-hmm. It's a privacy thing where he's listening to all her friends' thoughts and he's like, I fucking hate her, I hate him, they're dicks. Like, dude, come on. You're no better.
He's such a bitch. He's so crabby.
So crabby. God, is that what 100 years does to you? Because like, no wonder Arrow is the way he is.
Oh, yeah, but like definitely, like if any of those books didn't exist, I don't think we would have the amazing YA stories that we have today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they all really paved the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without them, we wouldn't have these amazing characters.
No, and I feel like there are some like, I don't know, I feel like they were really testing the ground with what flew and what didn't fly with YA books. Because I'm like, dystopia really had its moment. where like literally every book was like in a future far away when the government fucked us up.
Accurate. They're like, oh shit, we predicted the future.
Exactly. But like, I think like after Divergent really flopped, and that's with a capital F.
Yeah.
It like, I feel like the genre disappeared.
I would say so too. I can't name
Renegades.
a dystopian. Yeah.
But that's more sci-fi.
I think it's more sci-fi.
Marie Lu's books, are those dystopia?
I've only just started Steel Striker, so I can't quite tell you.
No, I still think
feels-
it's more sci-fi, right?
I'm gonna say it's a little hint of dystopian. I'm gonna say it's dystopian.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like in general, like, I think fantasy came and it was like, we're here to stay, bud.
Oh yeah, fantasy blew sci-fi and dystopia out of the water when sci-fi and dystopia were the shit 10 years ago.
The shit.
And now like you read anything other than fantasy and like that's wild. You're unique, you're quirky.
Yeah, because I'm like, even like, because more urban fantasy. Urban fantasy was here to stay.
Oh yeah.
I feel like YA and urban fantasy go hand in hand.
Oh, big time.
Because it's like, you're a normal girl and oh my god, magic.
But in your normal world.
But in your normal world, you're still in New York with the rats.
However, you have magic powers now.
Speaking of things that people got away with, John Green.
John fucking Green.
He was like the shit.
Oh my god, he was like a god.
He was a god.
What was your first John Green book? Was it The Fault in Our Stars?
No, I think he was looking for Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine was The Fault in Our Stars.
Of course.
And to this day, that book
Classic.
has fucked me up. To this day, like I'm still like, damn, that really got me good.
I feel like people hate John Green now.
Yeah, I feel so too, which kind of sucks.
I think it kind of sucks too. I don't understand why people like rag on him so hard.
I don't either.
Like, yeah, sure, he wrote some like, but I feel like if we're going down that road, pretty much everyone's written like kind of problematic characters.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, why is John Green getting shit on it?
Especially because there's a lot of authors that are problematic that aren't learning from the shit that they've done.
And John Green and like John and Hank, they do a lot of good.
They do so much good. And that's
like
so
they have
much,
those charities and they do fundraisers and in all honesty, like I feel like a lot of John Green's books were really formative to me.
Me as well. And it was just, they were written, like I said, like we keep saying, over 10 years ago.
Over 10 years ago.
Just the themes then were different.
They were.
You
I
can
mean,
get away
he
with
really
different
popularized the manic pixie dream girl kind of
yeah.
aesthetic. Because
Looking for Alaska, I wanted that to be my aesthetic.
yeah, same.
I feel like my 2014 Tumblr was based off of that book.
I remember feeling so cool. Like I would always say, like if I saw someone reading it, I'd be like, you know, it's not actually supposed to be a candle. It's supposed to be a cigarette.
Oh my God.
But he couldn't get away with putting a cigarette on a YA book, so it had to be a candle.
Is there not a cover with a cigarette on it?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
Just
I watched.
smoke.
I used to be really like into like the Green Brothers on YouTube. I used to watch their videos, and I remember John mentioning something about like he didn't like the candle. He just wanted it to have smoke then at least.
Yeah.
But they put the candle in there.
I feel like there was like a special edition they did of it that was
Yeah,
like
it didn't-
really smoky. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
I mean, like, do you think the manic pixie dream girl is one of the most harmful tropes out there?
Sure. Yeah.
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 It's not. Yeah, I guess because she's like the whole point of her is to like further the male. Yeah,
Like at the end of the day, like what's she good for?
exactly.
Nothing. except
She's a
for furthering.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
she's a fantasy.
dehumanizes the girl.
Dehumanizes her because at the end of the day, like, is she even really like that?
She's a fantasy.
She's just a fantasy.
She's an enigma.
She is an enigma, like because she's a product of this boy, his imagination.
Yeah,
Especially in Looking for Alaska, especially as that
I
book
know,
goes
but that's
on.
kind of the whole point of the book. That's
yeah.
why I think it like when people shit on it, I'm like, but isn't that the point? Is the fact that he's making a commentary on the manic pixie dream girl?
I feel like there's so much more to John Green's books
Yeah,
than just this simple book about a boy who's interested in this girl and just comes up with a fantasy about her because something tragic goes on. But like that's the surface level. You can get in deep. And I feel like you can with a lot of his books.
I think that people who read John Green also got a really bad rap. And I think they're paying for it now of being like super pretentious. Because like, I don't know, like you would be sitting there reading Mortal Instruments and then someone with a John Green book would walk past and they'd be like, oh, what are you reading?
Oh my God. I feel like I went through like a John Green phase. Like I read The Fault in Our Stars, sobbed to death. Looking for Alaska, sobbed to death. And then it was like Paper Towns and like Will Grayson.
I really liked Paper Towns.
So did I.
Yeah.
Especially like the first 2 John Green books were dark.
They were sad. Perks of Being a Wallflower is kind of in that like genre.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I always forget about that book when it's like a good book.
It is so good, and the adaptation of that movie was perfection.
I don't think anything kind of like comes close to that, because that was
I walked out of that movie theater sobbing.
Oh yeah, changes your life.
It really does. And I think that again, that's the proof of a good book to movie adaptation.
Oh yeah,
the author was heavily involved. I'm pretty sure he directed it.
I'm sure. I wouldn't know, but yeah, it was great.
It was really good.
Oh my goodness.
What are the other authors that like were really popular during our time? Like Cassie Clare, John Green, they were like big names.
Oh, they were huge names.
Rick Riordan.
I feel like Ransom Riggs was doing some stuff. Like that was when that series was coming out. I'm trying to think now, but it's been so long.
Rick Riordan had me in a chokehold.
I never read any of his books. I'm aware that you're disappointed.
Percy Jackson is life-changing. It is literally written for someone with ADHD. I don't think it actually is, but like the way it's written, it's so perfect.
I bought the entire series because I had planned to read it. Indigo was doing their buy 3 get 1 free sale, which I take advantage of religiously every year.
Indigo is a bookseller in Canada, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm. And I thought I would go hard and read them all. And I think I read the first book and then I did not continue. I don't even remember why.
It's so good.
Is it like... Because like I'm 23 now. Like would it still be like...
Yes.
Okay.
I reread it like recently. I think I read it last year.
Oh, and you were like, oh yeah, this still like resonates.
It's a banger.
Oh my God. It's a banger.
It's a banger.
Okay. I'm sure I can like,
I wouldn't read the spinoff. I wasn't a huge fan of the spinoff.
The
Lost Hero.
Yeah.
It does veer into the problematic atmosphere.
Oh Lord.
There are characters who come from backgrounds that Monsieur Riordan does not know about and should not be writing about without consulting people from that actual background.
Yikes.
But you know, that's a theme with books from Yore, right?
That's a huge theme. Definitely. Which is unfortunate because like, especially for our age group, those are the books that we grew with.
I know, and they shape our mindset.
They shape your mind, and that's what's so terrifying. And that's why it's so important to talk about like the problematic issues because like it shapes
I hate that
you.
argument when people are like, well, it's just a book.
But it shapes you.
Yeah.
Especially like less so if you're like an adult reading these books now for the first time. That's different because you know better.
Yeah.
But like a 13-year-old picking up a YA book with some nasty shit in it.
That's a no-no.
Especially if it's hidden well.
Oh,
and you have to read critically to see it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue.
Like for me, for sure, with Harry Potter, there were so many things that when I read it, it flew over my mind.
And I'm sure for a lot of people, especially young readers, it's going to fly over your mind.
Yeah, but that's the case for adult readers too. There are so many adult readers where I will like talk about something that was super problematic in Harry Potter, you know, negating the obvious. And they'll be like, oh, I never noticed that. I never noticed that at all. And it's like, yeah, because it's so sneaky.
Yes.
And which author said it? She said it so well that like an author's beliefs, no matter what, will find their way into their...
Of all people, it was Katie Robert, who like writes like the smutty retellings and the smutty like she wrote Neon Gods.
She wrote Electric Idols.
Yeah. She wrote the like the smutty villain series.
The Disney ones.
Yeah, she basically said, you know, it's just a friendly reminder that our values and our beliefs as people end up in our writing, whether we want it to or not, whether we try to or not.
Yeah. And that's, it's true, you know, and that's why reading critically is kind of it's incredibly important.
Mm-hmm. Hard to do, but it is something that we should, at least, let's say you didn't read it critically the first time, you should always be open when someone comes to you and goes, hey, this is my X, Y, and Z problems with this book, and not to just shut it down and be like, hey, it's just a book. Like, I've had people straight up tell me that. Oh man.
I know. And it's just like, oh, well, it's just, especially when it comes to adult books, a lot of the time they'll be like, oh, well, it's just a spicy book. Why are we holding it to standards?
Literature in general should just be held to a standard.
Yeah.
It's literature. It means something to you. It shapes
Exactly.
you.
Even if it's a smutty book.
Even if it's a smutty book. Even if you're just like reading it because you're like, I have nothing else to do, I'll read this.
Yeah, but you should always call out things that
yeah,
ain't good, because usually reflects on the author.
Whether it's a book from 10 years ago or a book that was released yesterday.
Exactly. Well, now that we've started talking about that heavy subject, maybe we should move into a fun segment.
Fun game.
Fun games of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
A classic.
A classic.
All right. Let's see. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Oh, this is going to be hard to like think up. Okay. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Patch.
Oh, no.
From Hush Hush. Jace Wayland from The Mortal Instruments. Or 4 from Divergent.
Oh, that's easy. I would murder 4. I would fuck Patch.
Nice.
And I would
Jace.
marry Jace.
That was the only right answer.
You always marry a Herondale. You don't not marry a Herondale.
Way to go with that spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. Herondales are marriageable material.
Sure.
They are.
Except for the first 3 books, he's Jace Wayland.
Oh, shit! All right, I have one.
Okay.
Edward Cullen.
I know where this is going.
Peter Malark.
Oh, okay. I know where this is going.
Or Augustus.
Lord.
Augustus from Fault in Our Stars.
Not Augustus Gloop.
Not Augustus Gloop.
I'm gonna marry Edward. I guess I'll fuck PETA.
Oh, wow. I mean,
kill Augustus.
Spoiler alert.
No offense, Augustus. Spoiler alert.
I mean, at this point, if you don't know what happens,
yeah, there's
there's a time limit.
I
guys.
feel like there absolutely is.
Yeah.
Like, isn't the rule with like even Marvel movies is like 2 weeks and then like it's free for all?
I was spoiled so bad for Spider-Man. I'm not going to say anything on the podcast,
yourself.
But no, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You were like, I just want to Google all the spoilers, and I was like, don't, and then you did.
No, I didn't Google it. I was on TikTok.
Well, that's on you. I stayed off of TikTok.
Just don't be on TikTok.
Just don't be on TikTok. I was off of that shit. I was like, I
think there should be a rule that, like, if a piece of media has been out for 5 years, that it's free game.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, Twilight, you can't like spoiler alert Twilight. You can't spoiler alert The Hunger Games. Like, shit's been out.
Shit's been out.
That's it.
And I know some people get real up in their feelings about it, but it's just like I get it with books more so that it's like not everyone has read it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, The Fault in Our Stars was a movie.
And it's been out for so long. Like, you have to know
everyone
what
and their
happens.
grandma saw it.
Everyone and their grandma knows what happened.
Exactly. Poor Augustus.
Oh, Augustus.
All right, what's another one? What if we did... How about this one for the girls? How about Isabel Lightwood? Not Clary, no. Triss. And Alina Starkov.
This one's actually hard because I feel like they're kind of just all at the same level.
Right?
I'd marry Isabel, though. I said they're all at the same level, but I'd marry Isabel.
I would marry Isabel. I would fuck Alina. I don't feel like she'd be a good fuck.
I feel like I'd have to kill Alina.
No, I couldn't kill Alina. I'd kill Triss. She's so annoying.
Oh, she is. But I also feel like Isabel has such a temper. I don't think I could put up with it. Do you know what I mean? Okay,
then I would marry Alina, and then I would fuck Isabel, and I would kill Triss.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Overall, that's a good one.
How about America Singer from the
good
Selection
God.
series. America Singer from the Selection series. Then we could do Mix It Up a Bit.
Oh.
Tessa Gray.
Okay.
And for the final one, Katniss Everdeen.
Shit. I'd marry Tessa.
I'd marry Tessa.
I think I'd fuck Katniss.
And then we throw America in a ditch.
Throw America in a ditch. That wasn't even a question. You're like, America. And I was like, yeah, she's done. She's done.
That was an easy one.
That's too easy.
Have you ever read the Selection series?
No, and I never will. Never will. I know enough about it.
Seeing those covers, they are so iconic.
Oh
the
my
girl in the
God.
dress in the mirrored room.
The second I heard that this like main character's name was like America, I was like, I am very confused now.
America Singer.
I was very confused for a long time, and then I learned too much about it, and I was like, nah.
It's kind of a cult classic.
It is.
People love it.
However, I feel like the people that love it because they read it a while ago.
Yeah.
I haven't heard someone read this book for the first time now and be like, oh, hell yeah. This book is the best book ever. Like, I have not heard that.
No, I think I read half of it years ago.
Oh, man.
I didn't even make it through it.
Did you ever read the Fallen series?
The one with the goth girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the first book.
I just wanted to read it because of the covers. I was like, oh, shit. She's bad,
Because
bitch.
we were both goth chicks when we
Oh,
were...
God, yeah. Mom was like, it's just a face. I was like, no, Mom. And I'm like wearing skulls. My hair's black. I have purple streaks.
Paints her room black.
I did paint my room black. Of
course you did.
Black for like 4 years. Now it's purple.
Yeah, now it's purple with all white furniture.
Yay.
We love a rebranding.
Love that for me.
Yeah, I know. I read that one, and then I read the Nevermore books.
Oh my God. Yes.
All right. Well, do you have any recommendations for readers? Some of your favorite YA books? I'm definitely... I know I said I don't know how I feel about it anymore, but dude, read the Vampire Academy. Just read it.
I think I might. I have the first book. I bought it like secondhand, and I just have it sitting there. I should just read it.
Just read it. It's so bad, but it's so good.
I keep getting told that I'll love it, but I think the reason, you know what? The reason I didn't read it is because, like, Rose, she's not a vampire, is she?
She's a dumb fear.
Yeah, and so I think that irked me.
Why?
I was like, because at the time I was like, I want the human girlfriend, the vampire boyfriend, the eternal love, and I was like, this ain't got that shit.
Nah.
As far as I know. So I was like, eh.
No, well, there is a vampire boyfriend.
Oh, well, there you go.
Read it.
The way you're looking at me makes me think I shouldn't.
Read it. See how you feel.
I mean, I'll put it on the list, but it ain't priority. There's so much else.
It's true.
I feel like the Mortal Instruments, like we talked about, like that should get read.
It should, because I feel like it was at least to my knowledge, or at least for me, it was the first time a gay character had a storyline. And yes, arguments could be made for how that isn't the best storyline or the best representation. But I think it's really important that it even existed. Like, I remember feeling seen, even though I'm not a gay man. But like, I am bisexual, and seeing someone in the LGBTQ rainbow represented really like made me feel seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Honestly, guys, you should read Hush Hush.
Oh my God.
Just read it.
Just give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Fallen Angels?
Ugh. Okay. Speaking of like tropes and books from like way back when, Fallen Angels and vampires,
It was
that
Monster
shit,
of the Week.
hand in hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Fallen Angels. Like, once I got over like Twilight and the Vampire Diaries, it was all Fallen Angels all the time. That's all I cared about.
Well, yeah, YA during that time was like Monster of the Week. Let's pick a monster and let's make them sexy.
Yep. Fallen Angels, that was my shit.
Because like they even did it with zombies.
Yeah, there was that for a while.
What was it called? All I remember, his name was R and her name was Juliet.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Warm Bodies.
Yeah.
There it was.
It was a good movie.
That was a good movie. Have you read the book?
I haven't read the book.
I owned it for a while, never bothered.
The Hunger Games. Can't talk about books of yore without talking about the dystopian
Games.
novel. of all novels.
Dystopian.
Ashley, you should read that.
I own it and I will. I promised so many people.
I can't believe you haven't read it.
I went through this phase during this, craze of books.
I'm too cool for the popular
exactly,
books.
Where I was like, I'm too cool for the popular books. I don't want to read the popular books. Because I was convinced, like I am now, that I would hate them. So I just didn't bother. And I remember like begrudgingly watching the Hunger Games movie. And I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. But it was like good. And I was like, fuck.
Controversial opinion.
Ooh.
I don't like the first movie.
No one does.
Oh, really?
No. Catching Fire.
Catching Fire is the best one. No, my reason for not liking the first movie, it gave me a headache.
Why?
Shaky cam.
Interesting.
It's so shaky that I legit went home with a migraine.
I never saw it in theaters or anything, and I just watch it on TV. So
Too much shakes. Someone give that man a dolly.
I never pay attention.
Really?
Yeah.
For someone who has ADHD.
I know. I get focused on everything else. I'm like,
You should definitely read it though.
Also, half the time I'm watching TV, I'm like looking at like my video game screen. Like I'm not.
I'm surprised you're not blind.
Honestly, me too.
Do you have any other recommendations?
Shatter Me, I feel like, was a good one. It's come back. It's like one of those
Is it
books.
by Tahira Mafi?
Yeah, Tahira Mafi.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those books that's come back because she wrote it as a trilogy and then added 3 more books, like, as of recent. I haven't read them. I'm not going to read them. I hear it just completely negates the rest of the original trilogy. So that blows. But
it does blow.
It was very interestingly written. And at the time, at the age that I was, I really enjoyed it. And it was enemies to lovers, and in quite an enemies to lovers way. It was interesting, prosy writing. It was cool. Dystopian.
That sounds cool.
Dystopian again.
I only know her from the fact that she married the guy who wrote
Ransom Riggs.
Sorry?
Ransom Riggs.
Yeah. He wrote the Miss Peregrine books, and they got married in a library.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
It's cute. All right, so that's our show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Chaotically Bookish for filmed podcasts and any future lives we do. Be sure to rate us and follow us on Instagram. We're at Chaotically Bookish Podcast on Instagram and at Chaotically Bookish on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ashes Reads. And you can find Annabelle on TikTok at Many Wizard Pages. Oh, and Bookstagram now.
Yeah, I'm back on there.
Congratulations. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I always knew you'd come back.
Me and my 25 followers.
I love that for you. If you ever want to contribute to the show, you can send us an email. You can send us funny stories, book recs, or anything else you really feel like talking to us about. Our email is linked in the description. Stay safe, enjoy a good book, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.